stepping away from you guys as an example and using someone else, I think that they weren't a boxing gym at all. They were a gym with a boxing ring, and they actually developed themselves into a boxing gym. And, you know, they've kind of blown up because of it. They're thinking of opening a second facility. So it's kind of, you know, playing to your niche is normally actually, it's better. The phrase "jack of all trades, master of none" kind of rings true there. It's being really good at one thing is actually better than being average at everything.
Yeah.
So Pure Gym, I know, if we want to talk about niches and things like that, Pure Gym do classes. I guess firstly, quick fire question: what's your thought on Pure Gym's classes?
Shit. Really?
That was a leading question.
Yeah, it was.
Hello and welcome to the Gym Owners Forum podcast. My name's Tom. This is the first episode of a new series that we're going to start to push out, where I myself interview a number of different gym owners from across the UK and Ireland to kind of hear their stories, hear some anecdotes about sort of how they run their own gyms, and I guess impart that knowledge onto yourselves as well. To give you a bit of background on myself and who I am, I work for a gym membership management company based here in the UK. And we support gyms in a number of different ways. So from things like payment collection and software, access control, to, you know, something that's more in kind of my area and my remit, which is marketing and branding and sort of growth of business. Today I'm joined by, I was going to call him my friend, but he is my friend actually. Today I'm joined by my friend Drew Newton, who works as a manager over at a gym called the Fit Club based in Redditch. And I thought this would be a really, really good first place for us to start, as the story of the Fit Club is a really good one, basically. So yeah, Drew, nice to meet you, see you, whatever it is. I think a good place to start is just tell us kind of who you are and a little bit about your experience with the Fit Club and kind of what you've managed to do with it.
Yeah, so my name's Drew, so I work at the Fit Club. I've been there for about 2 years now, and joined onto their process a little bit later, as they've been open for about 5 years. Our gym, a little bit about that. We've got kind of a 20,000 square foot space. We've got 3 studios, a sauna area, a main gym space with a separate area as well for more kind of CrossFit style of training. And we really specialise in the personal aspect of going to the gym, rather than just kind of focusing on little bits of little areas. We really push that as our main aspect, and work with the other bits as well alongside that.
Yeah, and I actually think that's how I'd kind of classify you guys as the Fit Club. It's not really like a gym, you know, that people sort of go to and just work out. It is more of that sort of health club and friendly club sort of vibe that, you know, you kind of build that community, and it's got a really nice feel about the place, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know, I'd start you off with a sort of TikTok-esque segment. So we're going to be blind ranking. I think these are kind of 6 different ways that sort of on the daily I kind of, you know, discuss and try and implement into other gyms that we talk to. So yes, we're going to do a blind ranking, starting from the top, working our way down. I want you to just order them from 1 to 6, okay?
Yeah, exciting.
So it's groundbreaking stuff, I know. So the first one we're going to start off with is refer a friend schemes.
So a little bit of background on it, or we just like to go straight for the number?
However you want to do it.
All right. So we use a refer a friend scheme at Fit Club.
Yep.
We used to do about £200 per month, and we'd alter a prize. We found that people just want cash at the end of the day. They don't want that. Like after COVID, people just want the money. They're probably selling half the things that we're buying them, and it was just wasting everyone's time. So we moved it to over 3 months and added those £200 together and do £600 as a grand total, with a bigger one over at January. But so now we do £600 for the winner, and we get on average about 50 to 60 members on the refer a friend scheme. So for me personally, in my experience with it, it's working. You got to make sure it's out there and people know about it. But I'm going to put it straight in at a 3.
Yeah, that was very safe, isn't it?
I'm going safe, yeah.
Just to kind of touch on that a little bit more as well, how are you kind of pushing the refer a friend schemes to your members?
Yeah, so we use everything through kind of our software that we use for our emails. We'll put it through there and do like monthly newsletters. It's pushed through them. We do consistent reminders on the social media, videos about it. We get kind of stories of members that have won it previously and get them stuck up on the wall. We get them on the social media as well, and what they've done with their money when they've won. and how it can kind of change their life, I suppose. If
Yeah.
yeah.
And it all sounds kind of relatively low cost, I think, as well.
Yeah.
It's more just
in the grand scheme
time,
of
I
it.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So moving on to the next one. 3 is now taken. We're going to go for special discounts and promotions on membership prices.
So I think that's always a good thing to offer people, but there's so many out there now that you see every single day a different Pure Gym promotion of no joining fee or no this. People are kind of starting to catch on to it now. So discounts are always a good way, but if you truly believe in your product that you're selling, you shouldn't need it. I think like it is an important thing to have because people are wanting a bit of a deal, a bit of a push over the line to get themselves an incentive to join, whether that's a no joining fee or a 20% off your first month. It does push them over the line. But I think if your product is good enough and you believe in it enough, it doesn't need to be that. So I'm gonna put that one down at a 6.
Okay, well,
not that it's not important,
yeah.
but I'm scared of what's to come.
Okay, quick Pure Gym mention there as well. Other gyms are available. So yeah, I think I understand that, to be honest. I think as soon as you start to kind of discount your product, it kind of discounts it in that person's eyes as well, and it devalues it. I think if you build the desire up for people to want to join the gym, 20 quid at the end of the day is not going to change a fat lot of that. So yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. Already done it. Open days, so free classes and trials for members, for non-members.
Yeah, I think again it's a good one. We've done a fair few of them in the past and done kind of events where like non-members can turn up to. I think it's something that you need. I think it gets the sales process started in someone that maybe wouldn't have been before. If you get someone in and into the gym that perhaps wasn't even thinking about it, whether they join there and then or not, it just gets that process started. Maybe they Google you and they go onto your social media ads, and it just gets their mind started on you're a place that they want to be. So yeah, a massively important one. But again, I'm going to go on the lower end and go for a 4.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Surprising. So the next one, social media advertising.
Yeah, so it's absolutely huge at the moment, isn't it? I think like every man and his dog needs to be on it to be progressing and getting stuff there. But you have to do it right as well. I think it's a hard trait to learn and to master, really. So you've got to be doing it, and there's like the strength in numbers. You need to be pushing it out there and getting as much as you can. So that one at the moment, obviously it depends on your member base as well. Depends who you're trying to aim at, but
and you don't want to use the top spots as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm going to. It is.
Yeah, okay,
it's
that's
massive,
safe.
Yeah.
And I think while we're on social media advertising, it's something that, not to be kind of cruel, but it's something that the older generation have no idea, and I think it genuinely does terrify them. Based on some of the experiences I've had. So I think before I ask you this question, I think my advice to people that aren't sure about social media advertising would be to just talk to a young person, or talk to anyone that has any sort of experience with it, because realistically it's not going to cost you anything, and actually setting them up's fairly easy.
Yes.
So yeah, just kind of building on that, I guess, what's your kind of preferred route when doing the social media advertising? How do you guys do it?
Yeah, I think investment is key, really, is my main point. I think when we started off and I first started at the Fit Club, we were just doing it like I was doing it myself, but trying to balance that along with other things and trying to manage the gym at the same time, it becomes hard and you don't put as much time in it as maybe you can. But if you go out external and have someone help you, or you just lean on someone, a company, whoever it is, that can just give you that bit of guidance on what you need to be doing to progressing with it, it's massively helpful. So we actually used an external person to come in and just spend their time on our marketing eventually, because we just wasn't getting the engagement that we really wanted, and the kind of return on investment of my time was not really worthwhile. Whereas when you have someone can really edit videos, kind of bring in your audience, it's massive for the gym, really. We're now putting videos out that return like thousands of views on it, and then you can generate that kind of lead process, whether they click on your page, they ask for a callback. It just has to be out there just to get that initial engagement, really. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. And I think kind of trial and error is massive with it as well. So, something might not work. So just tweaking it to a different audience or a different kind of message, it's a hell of a lot cheaper doing that than setting up an entire new ad as well. Isn't
Yeah,
it? So,
I think we've done well recently on putting out different posts going for different things, whether that's an informational one, more of like a skit TikTok style one. So, and then you can also have a bit of a one in between that's maybe just about a piece of kit or something new that's coming in, and you capture all three. You do 3 posts a week, and you're pretty happy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, fantastic. So you've left yourself in a bit of a situation here because you've only got 1 and 6 left.
Oh no.
So the next one is spending money on new equipment. How effective is that for bringing in new members?
Yeah, I have really left myself in a situation here. I really want to be like higher up with. No, I don't. I don't want to say overrated, but people focus so much on new kit and the new shiny thing that we see it every day. Like I work in the gym, like the gym owners here will relate to this, is like people come into the gym and they want to sign up because they want to lose 20 pounds of fat by yesterday. And they think that there's just a pill that you can give them and it just goes like that. And that's what quite often we get sucked into. These, like, everyone does marketing well now, don't they? So these gym companies that are selling this brand new piece of kit that we think, is gonna change everything by tomorrow, the day it comes in. Quite often it isn't. You need to focus on the foundations first, and then once you're smashing your marketing, your community's there, everything, and maybe then you have a look at adding new kit. Obviously, it still needs to be done. You've still got to be like keeping up with your competition and differentiating yourself in different areas. Like, for example, we bring in a fair bit of kit at the moment, and we've just placed an order for a few new pin loaded machines, and possibly looking into kind of changing up a bit of a layout. And we're investing in the gym, but by all means, we're still investing in the other areas as well where we need to lay the foundations.
Yeah, I think that is massively true as well. I think people look at a gym and they're like, once you've got the equipment, you've got a gym. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and you have to sort of treat it that way. And so, having a nice looking gym is fantastic and all, and I'm sure people will love it. But at the end of the day, all the other stuff you have to kind of get right. In terms of your marketing, in terms of getting the name out there, because you can have your hammer strength kitted out gym with all the best stuff, but realistically, at the end of the day, if no one's coming, then you don't make any money. And you're in a big hole basically. So
So that is a 6 I'm going for, unfortunately.
I don't hate 6,
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
I don't necessarily agree with this in the number 1 spot, but you've got local business partnerships. I don't hate it, but take it away. Tell us a bit about it.
We're going to put it at number 1.
Locked in.
Locked in. So I think it is important, really. That's how to get the word out there. Aside from marketing, it's a really easy way. You're using other people that you effectively don't really have to pay. Yeah. If you can get the word out to local salons, like kind of get a nail parlor, and then you can kind of invest more in like maybe local nurseries. You can get all different aspects and different partnerships. And you might have to give away a few like deals on memberships to these people, but the return on the investment of that is much larger than buying a brand new piece of kit and just hoping that everyone notices it and it brings you in 1,000 members. Yeah. If you're investing in your money into the time with partnerships and things like that, you can really push yourself in a different direction than not a lot of people are doing. Like, we use that, and we try and get every different aspect of people's lives into a partnership and give them a discount on those partners. It works for them because we have our own Fit Club app supplied to us, and inside of that we have a special offers area, and we've got an electrician, a coffee shop, what else we got? There's a builder on there. There's all sorts of different things that when people come in, it sounds completely random, but when they come in and they're undecided about their membership, and it just handles that one objection for you of, it's too expensive, and you can show them that and say, well, actually, like, do you have these things? Do you have a coffee? Do you have lunch? Do you have this? Do you get your hair done?
Do you need a security system?
Yeah, there you go. You need a security system. All these things are just saving the money, and it just makes that membership price just come down that little bit more. Whether they use it or not is up to them, but it's going to take away that objection in their mind of they're going to save a bit of money. And then also you've got the membership side of, if you're advertising in a local nursery and you get a deal with those, which is hard to do, but if you can get it, it's good. All those moms that take the kids in, the moms and dads that take the kids in, they're coming into the gym. While the kids are there, they've just got that bit of an incentive, and whether you have to give a slight discount to those that come in,
but again,
it's up to you.
At the end of the day, it's not really like I feel like that differs from kind of the discounts, like the year-long discounts, because it's part of that sort of community building aspect of it, where because Deirdre uses the coffee shop and the security systems, she feels like kind of connected and part of her community, and then the gym comes into that as well, and it all just links in nicely. And I think if people are thinking about you, then they're going to be using you regularly. So
you've really got a team of marketers working for you. Like if you've got all these people in the local salon, the barbershops and things like that, every single person that comes in, if you're offering them a good deal and you've like, I don't know what discount you want to give them, 50% a free membership to the owner or something like that, and you've got these people constantly pushing your business, like that 30 quid a month that effectively it would have cost you. Like if you said to someone, right, just mention my name to every single person that comes in your shop, you'd have to pay them a day's work.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it kind of it negates the need for a marketing team, really. Yeah. And it saves you the money of you spending like $1,000 a month on paying someone to do your marketing, because you're paying them in memberships, which is of no cost to you, really, bar space on the floor. So I really agree with that. So just to, I guess, quickly recap, local business partnerships in 1, social media advertising in 2, refer a friend schemes 3, open days, free classes and trials 4, special discounts, promotions 5, spending money on new equipment 6. I don't hate it. I think you've actually done fairly well there.
Yeah, I think we did all right. I changed a couple around, but
it emphasizes the fact that I think marketing is really, really big in today's age. So that's grand. Well done. Congrats.
Thank you.
So I think that kind of takes us nicely onto our next topic of creating a unique space, and I think that's from what we've discussed in the past. That's kind of what you feel has allowed for this growth is the fact that you guys are unique and you have a bit of a niche in terms of things that you guys do in the gym. So it'd be good if you could, I guess, just start off by touching on a few of the things that set you apart from the bunch, basically.
So I think, like, starting off from let's just go through the membership process and how they would come in. So any member that comes in, they're getting greeted straight away by our desk team. We've got someone always on reception. We toyed with the idea of 24/7 and what we do with that, but I think that takes away a little bit of what we want to do. I'm not saying it works for everyone, but we wanted that personal side and always being able to speak to someone in the gym. So it worked well to have that person on the desk all the time, which means our hours are kind of like 5 a.m. till 11. So it's still large enough to attract the members, but it's not 24/7. So they're getting greeted straight away. We've got a little kind of cafe area, so they can come in, they can grab a drink, grab something that again sparks that conversation. And then we're constantly making the team out on the gym floor, kind of whether that's cleaning, greeting members, correcting form, even selling their PT. I don't mind. It's just getting them out there and just interacting with that different kind of member. That's really what sets us apart is focusing on that personal aspect. Then everything else comes into it. Like our unique bit for where we are is no real gym in Redditch has got a sauna. So that's our biggest kind of, not our biggest attraction, but a very big one. It's
a selling point, isn't it?
When they come in, it's something that they look for maybe, or they're interested. Whether they use it or not, again, is a completely different story. But it's something there that is there for an option, and whether they use it,
if I can sort of interject quickly, I think, firstly, I think good decision to have a sauna and not make it 24-hour. I think a 24-hour sauna is going to be pretty disgusting. I think, just going back to the 24-hour thing, I know I speak to a lot of people that run 24-hour gyms, and obviously there is for sort of constructors and site people and stuff like that, it is really good. What was your reasoning for not going 24-hour, and what's the effect that that's had on your business? Because I know some people say that, if you're coming into the gym at 2 a.m, you're probably a weirdo. I don't necessarily think that's true. I actually think there are people that just their schedules don't fit. But what was your reasoning for it, and what's the effect it's had on the business, I guess?
So the previous gym that owned the Fit Club before us actually did 24/7, and getting feedback from the team that have worked there and bits before that is that it just didn't really work. Especially maybe it's our area, maybe not, but particularly just members coming in, just not treating the place with respect. Not how we would want it to be treated if we weren't there. And then also, again, it's more that personal aspect, to touch on it again, but it's getting greeted all the time is our niche, really, and pushing on that. Other side of it is just general cleanliness of the gym. I think we'd come in the morning sometimes, and if it's just been left in a state, it's not something that you could be proud of, I don't think. I think when you leave the gym and someone can come in.
Yeah, I won't ask about the states that you've seen.
Oh, God.
I'm sure they're not amazing.
No, not good at all. But If you can't be proud of it when you leave it, like, and then the next person comes in and there's like 25 kg on the floor, and then there's like a paper towel, a water bowl, a protein shake spill that like absolutely stinks. Like it's not what you want as a member. You come into that and you just think, is this where I want to be?
Exactly.
Like, you want a clean place. You come in and it's like vibrant. There's good lighting. Like everything's clean. You're not worried about like touching something. If like
and to be honest, I actually think that's quite a nice segue onto the looming threat of pure gyms and other kind of budget gyms that are obviously 24 hours. And I think that's something that you guys definitely had an experience with Pure Gym moving in, and I know there's also 24/7 Fitness coming to the area as well now. So not to kind of slag them off, they're obviously, they have their benefits and they have their kind of target audiences, but I think they are quite a kind of scary thing when they first move into the area. So if you can kind of take us through the experience that you guys had when Pure Gym or Fitness or I can't 24/7 Fitness when they first came in, and I guess initial feelings, initial thoughts, plans that you made, and then results after the fact, I guess.
Yeah. So initially we did have a Pure Gym close to us, but there wasn't really in a good area. There was kind of middle town centre, and the parking was pretty awful. So there was never really an issue. But then like about, I think it was 12 months ago, probably closer to that now, they moved location to a lot closer, and it's about a 2-minute walk from us with better parking and a bigger space. So that's when we really started to be, right, we need to switch on here and start making some plans to not lose out to this. It's a scary thing when they move that close to you and you're thinking, and they come in, they're like, it's like 1p for a membership. Like it's ridiculous when they move in. So you're thinking, right, how can we keep these members from really, I suppose going, but also kind of losing that feel for the gym and that need for a good gym and a like one where you can have a good service and good equipment. Then we really progressed more into what we did well. So that's when we renovated our sauna area.
I think that's the mentality you have to have with it, because realistically, like, you're never going to compete with Pure Gym, or other gyms are available. You're never going to compete with these on price, because they're this massive conglomerate that like could just price you out of anything. So you really do have to sort of play to your niche, and it costs a lot. I think I've already said this, to be honest, but it costs a lot more to implement something new than just to improve what you've already got. Like, did you already have the sauna in the gym previously?
We already had it. We just improved it. Yeah,
exactly. So it's things like that Pure Gym will never ever get to you. And stepping away from you guys as an example and using someone else, I think that they weren't a boxing gym at all. They were a gym with a boxing ring, and they actually developed themselves into a boxing gym. And they've kind of blown up because of it. They're thinking of opening a second facility. So it's kind of playing to your niche is normally actually. It's better. The phrase "jack of all trades, master of none" kind of rings true there. It's being really good at one thing is actually better than being average at everything. Yeah. So Pure Gym, I know, if we want to talk about niches and things like that, Pure Gym do classes. I guess firstly, quick fire question: what's your thought on Pure Gym's classes?
Shit. Really?
That was a leading question. To be fair.
It was.
This also isn't about kind of putting Pure Gym in the mud and crapping on their name, because they are obviously good at what they do, and it's clearly a lucrative business model because they clearly earn a shitload from it. So, pardon my French, but I think building on that then. So obviously they have their classes there. You obviously do classes. I'm going to take a wild guess and say kind of classes are one of your main attractions to the gym. Yeah. So if you could kind of take us through the history of that a little bit as well, then I guess, and say where the classes were at, and the classes you're now offering to people to make yourselves unique, I guess.
Our classes when we started, it was on about 15 classes, I think, when they first took over, and it wasn't really anything special. It was rail BTs, your hits, which is nothing wrong with those classes. They get numbers. But you just want something a little bit different sometimes. And that's where we brought in Les Mills to help us deliver those different classes without putting a million hours of effort into trying to think of your own classes and label them differently. And also Les Mills has got a big following in people, especially in our area. So I'm not 100% on other areas, but a lot of people will come over just because we've got Les Mills. We've got another gym fairly local that does it as well. And we've just got to do it better than them. And like when you get the good instructors in and you pay them well, that's when the classes really start to get vibrant and they put their effort in and you can choose who you want. So that helped us. We now managed to get it up to 44 or 45 classes weekly, which are at no extra cost to the members. It's included in that price. Because we get a lot of members, like it's easy to just think, oh, everyone's going to use everything. But we get a lot of members that will just come in, do a class and go. And they won't even use the gym floor space. So it's very helpful. If you're starting to get busy on the gym floor, whack a few more classes on and focus on that and get yourself a few more members that are just class members. Like you can never say they're just going to use it, but in my experience, most people that do classes, they do that as their workout for the day. They're not doing that and then doing a gym workout after.
100%.
Like a few do, and they're maniacs, but fair play to them. Like, most of them just do a class and then go, and that's their 45 minutes in, out, off you go.
Yeah, and I think, obviously this seems really obvious to say, but that's part of the reason why PTs exist, I think, as well, is people like to be led on their workouts. And so I think that links in really nicely with what you guys do in terms of, having people on the gym floor, going to talk to people. It makes it, it eases up people and it acts as kind of a gateway to get people to go into classes. In terms of cost for the classes, is it big on your guys' front, or?
It's like, I don't know, it's more like just staffing levels, I suppose, isn't it? Okay. It's like it doesn't cost a crazy amount. It is expensive to have classes on, but if you strip those classes back and look at the members you'd lose, you're always going to be more profitable by putting the classes on. So like it's kind of it's a cost that is, I say, fairly expensive, but you need it if you want to progress onto more membership numbers. That's what they're paying for. I think profit's the kind of the main thing you've got to look at there, and if it's profitable, then. And then also kind of touching on community as well. I think when you look at that and building good classes and a good community around those members that are in these classes, they start to fall in love with like how the instructor does things, the music that's on, the area, the people they do it with. The people that are in those classes and are kind of around that tend to not leave. Once you've got something and you've got something good, like it's human nature to stick around with it and enjoy it. So it's just massive for us, really. And then you get so many members that meet new people, and you can really just like kind of double down on that and just encourage it as much as you can. Socials after classes, little things like that just are really going to drive your membership numbers and keep people there. Like you said, it's more expensive to get a new one, so why not focus on the ones you've got? Exactly.
Yeah. No. Wise words. I think. Just finally then. Finally for this part of the conversation. The classes that you guys do, I know that you do. There's some stuff that I think is really, really cool, and there's some stuff that I think is a little bit interesting and not necessarily up my street. But I can appreciate that. Since the classes are booked up, then it clearly is up a lot of other people's streets. So, if you could kind of dive into a bit more detail. I know kind of high rocks and stuff like that is kind of the word of the month at the moment. So touching on a couple of those things.
So you do fight and fit as well, because we've got a couple of boxing bags. So that's quite a popular one because it's something a bit different to what people normally do. It's like it says in the name, it's fighting and fitness. So you don't have to particularly be wanting to go on a fight to do it. But you also don't have to be thinking about your fitness. It's just something that just brings you into it without actually thinking, I'm doing a workout here. Like if you're doing a million squats in a class, then it starts to feel a hell of a lot like you are doing a workout. But if you're throwing some punches at someone and imagining the face of your ex or whoever it is, it makes it a little bit easier. But then kind of pushing into it, we've got some like ones that are really out there, and like we've got a pound fitness that we're really trying to push at the moment, and it's had quite a good return on it. Really, we've got a fair few people on it. We're trying to push it more, but that one is like fitness with drumsticks, and it's kind of like rock out while you work out.
So
that's the more niche one.
I think, it is, and I think off the top of my head as well, there's a couple like sound baths and things like that. That, for it's stuff that like my mum is really into.
Dipping more into the holistic side. Really,
exactly. And I can see the appeal to it, but it clearly it brings in that sort of clientele that aren't even necessarily gym goers. They're more just like health is wealth kind of people. So getting those people to buy a membership is like it's a whole new client base basically, which is great.
We try and host a few more things like that, like the sound bath you said. Little talks on different areas, specialized areas like nutrition for fat loss. We did a menopause talk, and just letting those people know how they can stay fit while experience those things or what they're doing, and how we can help them do that. And that can be a non-member. We charge a cost for them to come in because you've still got to believe in your product. We're selling someone information that we know. It's a small cost, but it gets people in. It pays for the time that we spend on it, but also it just gets them in the door. And then, like you said, once they're in the door, like
Yeah.
show them round. You get them on an automation that they put their email in, and you can give them a few kind of incentives to join, or just a little reminder of what they've experienced. You get some feedback from it. It starts the whole process, isn't it?
No, it's definitely really good. I think that kind of brings us to the end of the show now. Drew, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
It was great to talk to you, and I think hopefully we've given kind of the listeners out there some ideas and kind of useful anecdotes of how you guys and other gyms have made themselves a bit more unique and a bit more successful. Building off the back of that, if you have any questions, if you just want to have a chat about any of the ideas we discussed, or, dare I say, even appear on the podcast, please get in touch with myself or the Gym Owners Forum. Email us at info@gymownersforum.com, or look us up online, join our Instagram or Facebook groups. They'll appear on the screen somewhere. And follow the podcast. I think we're going to aim to be doing episodes every month. With some exciting guests and more episodes to come. Cheers, Drew. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later.